Good evening, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So Bitcoin on the 4 hour. So yeah, as you can see, I thought we'd get a bit more resistance, a bit more of a pullback, maybe a back test and a shoot up. Obviously, that's what people were thinking at this level. So people were shorting this level, and they swiftly got basically liquidated. Well, if they're over leveraged, liquidated or got their stops hit. So yeah, that is a nice move to see. I mean, for me, you guys know, I will say it, as soon as we close above 17,800, then we are basically bullish again, and we are confirmed in this range here. And so the target basically is the top of the range. All those things that I was saying in the previous videos. Yeah, I didn't necessarily expect it to go up there pretty much in a straight line, but yeah, that's what happens. People think we're going to get the back test, the pullback, the back test, and then the rocket launch. But we faked them out, and this is what happens when you make people expect things and then basically squeeze them the other direction. It is just another way of generating liquidity. So yeah, shout out to those evil market manipulators out there. They did it. They pulled a good one there. Not that I shorted here, but yeah, but it was looking like we could basically have a pullback, a back test, and a bounce up. But yeah, the market had other ideas. But though, everything else is nice and orderly and fine. We have basically just come to the top of our range, got resisted there, and this is the point where we will potentially get a bigger pullback from. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure I saw it go about $1,000, isn't it? It went from basically we can for all intensive purposes we'll call it 20k, and then it came down to basically about 19k. So that is $1,000 move. I mean, that just shows that's $1,000 move. And it's not even the full length down of the candle. I mean, the move up from this candle from top to bottom was obviously considerably more than $1,000 move, and in percentage terms was a 7% move in a 1 4-hour candle. So would you look at that? That'll do it, guys. That will squeeze the over leverage short, sorry. But yeah, so yeah, just a nice pullback. People were starting to get worried, thinking we're going to come lower. I mean, realistically, I was saying as well, we get the move down. Usually that point, the low of that initial drive down is the low in Bitcoin. It just tends to be how it operates. We did come down to try and test it, but we didn't break it, and we got fully supported by our support level. And then yeah, broke up. Looked like we could be forming a descending triangle, but broke above that, broke above resistance, and then I mean, after those shows of strength, this one initially, which gave us the impetus to get above at 17,800, and then basically closing over 17,800, it was just a question of how high, and the route the route that it takes to how high, but yeah, we just went how high in a straight line. But like I said, we are in a nice range here. This upper box of resistance and this lower box of support, previously resistance. Realistically, I think we have a high likelihood chance of trading within this range. There is another and something else in the traditional markets that's given me this bias that I believe will trade in this range. So potentially back down to fully and formally actually back test the 17,000, well, about 17,700, 17,800 level. Because we've broken back above and not back tested it. But the reason I think that may be on the cards is this dollar index. As you can see that we are potentially moving out of this descending wedge, and we are potentially going to take out this trend line. Obviously, we haven't done that as of yet. We've got to wait for obviously that confirmation. But if we close a candle, realistically, anywhere above here, and then even most definitely above this level here, then I do think we're going to get a pretty sharp move up in the dollar. I mean, I don't want to say it because I don't see it happening, but realistically, we targets into the 94s, and put it this way, Bitcoin is not going to be up here if we have the dollar index at 94. It will be lower. Can it just stay in this range? Potentially, it potentially can stay in this range. Are we going to form a new range of basically 20k down to this lower range of 16.5 and trade in this wider range, which we have tentatively put in a low of anyway? So we have basically put a high point and a low point. So I did say this as well. I said maybe we're going to shift everything up 2k. So my range was 14 to 18 roughly. So are we going to go basically from 16.5 to 16 to 20 basically, 16 to 20, which is basically another 4k range, but we just shifted it up basically 2k dollars basically. So the midpoint of this low range is becoming the low range, and obviously the higher point of this top little bit will be the high range. So are we going to have we got a range forming here? Is this what we're going to be looking at? It would be fine. It would be fine. That's a nice juicy trading range at the highs as well. So be some nice accumulation, some nice wicks above, some nice wicks below, some nice movement. That could be what we've got on the cards. I mean, the alternative is that the dollar just literally just fall out of bed here to the downside, like it attempted today, but it was brought up pretty quickly, as you can see, incidentally, on a 4-hour 9. Yeah, I mean, this is just bounce off the 4-hour 9. Are we going to get fully rejected by these trend lines? I mean, these are going to be substantial resistance along with this level here, but just don't forget that a descending wedge is on the whole has a higher percentage chance of breaking to the upside. That's all I'll say about that. Yeah, so let's have a look at stocks. I do know stocks got whacked a little bit at some point today. As you can see, S&P only realistically came down and tested this horizontal and quite strongly bounced off it, so that was obviously good for the to see in the S&P. Nasdaq as well. Is this my Nasdaq? Yeah, this is So Nasdaq, this is on a 4-hour. You can see it had a pullback, but literally bought all the way back up. Fantastic strength shown in this market. Tesla having a little bit of a pullback though. Well, we had a bit of weakness off the 8. This would have been the 9. Oh, well, actually, it would have been a 9 for a brief period of time until it basically traded lower than here. But yeah, so the 4-hour 9 in Tesla pretty much strikes again. This being the 9. So yeah. Silver getting whacked. Finally, silver's actually starting to make a more of a bearish move. And gold, as you can see, well, gold basically has met our target and it's just interacting with our level here. This is the next level below for gold. Not really too much. I mean, I guess we have now formed this level that we can draw in. Hope we'll draw it in with a thinner line, but we've got this level we can draw in now. Overhead resistance here. Yeah, we will thinner that out a bit. Overhead resistance there now also, yeah, and obviously the trend is down. So if gold is going to start to look bullish again, first and foremost it's got to take out this level here. But yeah, gold looking weak. It is interesting. Peter Schiff will not be happy at all. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to be hedging his gold position in Bitcoin because he ain't stupid, that old wily Pete. One thing I'll tell you about Peter Schiff is he is not stupid. He will be saying one thing about Bitcoin to market himself and his gold selling company. Don't forget, Bitcoiners. He may identify the fact that these guys are getting a lot of money potentially, becoming quite rich and potentially going to come quite richer. So those guys will be looking to divest into other assets, and gold being another asset that basically the whole sort of the cypherpunk Bitcoin anarchy type basically anti-boomer coin people would be into. Gold would be something that they'll be into. So I mean, he's basically making himself known to that market, and Peter Schiff can secretly then get buying gold, get buying Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoiners can secretly be buying some gold off Peter Schiff. And yeah, and we just crack on pretending that none of us are any of the wiser. Let's have a look at I make myself laugh sometimes. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum Satoshi pairing, which is obviously the important one. Yeah, it was looking good, and then Bitcoin started to really get a move on, and it did struggle for a little bit there, but still holding nicely in this range, holding this horizontal nicely as well, which we need to see. And then yeah, take out this horizontal, then onwards and upwards. Again, you can see rejected at the midpoint. So realistically, we could come lower, but we haven't got horizontal here. We are tentatively getting supported at. So obviously the USD pairing looking fantabulous. This clearly did basically break above our midpoint, so it made the 100% return, 100% move. Just currently stalling out on a 4-hour 9. Would you believe it? Yeah, that's enough. That's enough looking at those. We did look at. Did we look at the Bitcoin dominance? Yeah, I think we. I'm not sure if we did, but either way, yeah, it's not doing a lot. Just stuck in that range at the moment. Let's have a look at some higher time frame. Actually, higher time frame. TDs. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, depending on how you want to trade this, I do look at this as basically closing above the high. So we haven't closed today on this weekly. It is a weekly, clearly not. 6 days left. But yeah, if we close this weekly above here, that will signal a buy on the weekly, nullifying this 9 and this close below here. The 5-day 9 as well, as you can see. How many days left for this? 1 day left. So yeah, if we do close above here, I think basically we did close. Well, we closed above the above the close. We didn't close above the high of the candle, but this one, if we close above the high candle, yeah, signal nullify this on the 5-day, nullify this 9 as a sell now, and we're just going onwards and upwards. Yeah, nice sell off the 3-day, but then took out basically. Well, 1 day left as well. We're looking to take out this high here. So these higher term time frames are clearly looking very bullish. Not too much else really need to say or go from those. This is obviously a one I am intrigued as to what will happen. And we have but 1 day and 26 minutes. No, sorry, is that what am I? This is the monthly candle. Oh yeah. It is the end of the 1 hour and 26 minutes to the end of the month. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I got a bit confused then. Yeah, 1 hour. So literally, we will be on a monthly 9. So acceleration into the monthly 9 potentially. Have we got it? We're going to stall out, and we'll have to watch that. Are we going to get something like the weekly, where we basically pretty much get some weakness on it, or are we going to get something like the 5-day, where where we didn't really get weakness on the 9 there. We basically just moved up on the 9. So are we going to get moving up on the 9, or are we going to get actual weakness on the 9 candle? So that is what we're going to find out. But this is monthly. We can't really trade this. We've only got it realistically. Well, I say we can. If you trade monthly, you can. But I only look at really 4 hour. And I'm looking at these levels on the 4 hours. So these are the levels that I'm looking at and I think are important. So yeah, those higher time frames looked at. Let's have a look at the stochastics, which, I mean, we were looking at this. These are the main ones we were looking at. These are the ones, the 10-day and the 12-hour. There you have it. They called it. They basically dragged us all the way up there. These are pretty much the two ones that I look at the most, that I think are the most efficacious for Bitcoin. Clearly, daily didn't really do anything to help us out here, and like I said, these are the main ones I look at. But yeah, 2 hour looking to turn back up. I mean, we have looked at these higher time frames, and they can basically stay jammed up here. So yeah, not really too much to look at here. Yeah, all in all, 4 hour looking like it wants a bit of a reset. I assume we're on a 4 hour 9. Yeah, I had the 4 hour 9 as well, and we're at resistance. So on the basis, the people tried to short here and then got basically done. There will likely be shorting that happens here that is more successful. Now these guys got cleaned out. So I would expect a move down. I mean, this is our first level. We are playing with big numbers. Our first level is basically about 19k. And our second level is basically about 18.5k. So yeah, those two levels, potential targets for a pullback, for a very aggressive pullback. But if we are going to trade in this higher range, which I don't think we are, I think we're going to form a range from, I mean, it does make a lot of sense looking at it now, basically from here to here. So I maybe will actually put a box in here now for this. Horizontal, we'll put in a horizontal. Yeah, I mean that is quite thick, but you guys will pretty much see what we're looking at here. and we'll actually turn this into one of these longer horizontals, and we will put in if I can find what I'm looking for. Here we go. We will put this in as well. And is this the range that we're in? That will basically be the question. Are we in this larger range? What I may do is actually, well, I don't want to necessarily delete this rectangle. I want to kind of, I just don't want to confuse it with these two now. But so yeah, I may delete this rectangle, so it doesn't really convolute what we are looking at. But yeah, we've obviously got these two kind of levels here. What I'll maybe do now is delete one of these and then just pick a level. To be honest, where it was pretty much fine. Yeah, that is the level we'll go for. Yeah, and is this it? Is this now the range that we're looking for? Is this the range that I have been looking for? Is this the 14 to 18k range, but is actually about a 16 to 20k range? I was $2,000 out. Maybe. We will see. Like I said, we've got to watch this. We have got to watch this DXY because it is threatening. It is threatening to break up, to be honest. And I mean, a realistic target would be about 93s. And this certainly does not mean anything ridiculously bad for Bitcoin. It just means we're just going to come back and potentially backtest 16.5k, or even just backtest 17.5k or 17.6 or whatever. This zone that we did previously have that I've just deleted now. Let's see if we get any more of these trend lines. Yeah, let's get rid of these now. We had the breakdown for that ascending channel. Similarly, an ascending triangle and an ascending channel is a bearish formation, and that did indeed break down to the downside. So obviously, be aware that these statistics and probabilities of these formations do often play out. Yeah, so that is about it, guys. Not too much else to say. Yeah, remember, this is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys in the morning.